Hey everybody, Alex here with the 2007 Volkswagen GTI. I named her Ninian, if that matters, but she needs a timing belt. So why does this car need a timing belt job? Well, I'm idling right now. The engine is at operating temperature. I've driven it for about 30 minutes now, and if I'm quiet, you can hear this little sound. Take a listen. Now the RPMs aren't, jumping or anything, but obviously that sounds like a tensioner or something on a belt that's making noise. All right, I just stepped outside the car. The engine's still warmed up. Here's what it sounds like. It's actually not as loud from out here, but I hear it coming from around here. But basically this car has the original timing belt in it. If you want more details on this car in general, you can check out the overview video I did about a couple weeks ago or so. But I'm gonna see if I can record my first attempt at doing a timing belt successfully. And I'm thinking about making a series called Hipshot Car Repair, where I document what it's like to repair a certain car for the first time. How difficult it is, how much longer it would take compared to a professional technician doing the same kind of work, and some of the common challenges that I may run into on the way. So this is the first experiment of that. All right, here are the parts that I ordered. You don't have to order this exact set of parts, but I am gonna go through each little piece that I got just for reference. I attempted to get as many parts that were original equipment manufacturer as possible. So there's a lot of VW Audi part numbers here if you guys need those. I'm gonna go ahead and show each of these pieces up close just so you guys know what's going on here. And I guess first I'll start with the main contender, that is the timing belt. As you can see, it's actually not super long. It's a lot shorter than I actually expected. It's manufactured by Contitech. You can see that information there. The part number is right below the logo. The water pump for this engine, the FSI 2.0 liter turbo engine. Part number is also stamped on there, so I'll make that as clear as I can for reference. And this is the big boy tensioner right here. This one's will be interesting. I've seen other people install this on YouTube, and as you can see, it kind of swivels in an odd direction. You can see the part number right here. And the last big item here is the G13 coolant from Volkswagen Audi. And I ordered all of this from shopdap.com. That's Deutsche Auto Parts' website. Now, Deutsche Auto Parts sold all of the pieces that I just showed you as a kit, including the idler pulleys I'm about to show you right now. But there are some important stretch bolts that they do not include in this kit that you're gonna have to order from them separately. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the part numbers for each of the concerned bolts so you can add them onto your order for future reference. Thankfully, the guys at shopdap.com were great in putting these bolts together for me so that I could have them all available and all shipped to me at once. This is one of the bolts for the passenger side motor mount. You do need this, and that's the part number right there. I believe you need 2 of these. And this is the bolt for the crankshaft pulley. I'm trying to make that part number a little bit more visible to you guys. There we go. You do need 6 of these for the FSI engine. And this converts over from that Torx bit to a triple square, which is a lot easier to loosen. So get 6 of these. And here are the other 2 bolts for the passenger side motor mount. You can see that part number there. You'll be able to tell because this bolt has a stud on the end of it right here. You do need 2 of those. And with the kit that I bought, they included the 2 other idler pulleys. And you can see the part number there. And here's the second idler pulley. I believe that comes with the same part number. You can see there's a little nut there along with its bolt. And a couple of things I forgot. Make sure you have some distilled water. You can get that at your local supermarket. And something to mark your timing belt with. Doesn't really matter what it is. I just have some old leftover paint here that I'll be using along with a small paintbrush or something like that. Because once you get to the belt, you just want to make sure that it hasn't moved when you take it off. And that's it. Let's go ahead and go back to the car. So before I get started, the DIY I'm following is over on Golf MK5 or MKV.com. It's a pretty popular forum for Golfs of this generation, including the GTIs. And it has some pretty detailed info over there on how to change the timing belt. I'll link it in the description for anyone that wants to go follow along. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this wheel so that when I jack the car up, we can take the wheel off. This is on the passenger side, by the way. And that's pretty simple. You just use the little wheel puller that comes with the car. It's underneath the trunk liner. You can just stick it in a hole and pull out like that. And then you got your bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Don't forget that if you have a wheel lock, to use your little wheel lock converter. That's also in the trunk of the car. Make sure you set your parking brake so the car doesn't roll forward or backward when you're jacking the car up. Awesome. So here's a little tidbit when it comes to jacking up the MK5 Golf, or basically this GTI that I'm doing a timing belt change on. So here's the passenger side wheel. Ooh, nice little Christmas marks there. And here's the jack stand. As you can see, I've got it mounted right underneath the control arm, and it held it up really good. I've got plenty of wheel clearance. And then just for safety, in case, you know, something weird happens and it falls, which I doubt would actually happen given how secure that is, I put a second jack stand here with a rubber mount and put it right under my weld point here, just in case anything happens. All right, so the passenger side wheel is off now. Placed it under the car because why not? Saves room. And next thing that needs to go is this inner fender liner. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off and I'll show you what that exposes. Da, da, da. All right, I'm under the front of the car here. There's a bolt right here. This right here, this light gray part is the lower shielding for the fender. You're obviously going to need to take this off to access the timing portion of the engine. But this is a front Torx right here. There is a second and third one on the right hand side, and then on the far left there's one right here, and I believe that should be all you need just to remove the lower this portion, the wheel part, from the belly pan. As you can tell, it's connected. All this plastic all the way down here is connected by these bolts, so just make sure you don't break any of them, or you could risk having the parts of the belly pan drag on the ground, and that wouldn't be fun. I underestimated slightly, not including the one I unnecessarily removed. We have 10 T20 bolts connecting this lower shielding to the belly pan, which is just this little, you know, I call it a rain guard, but people call it a bajillion different things. It's just this little plastic bit that goes underneath the front part of the car to keep rain from getting in. But 10 of them, and this is all good to remove. As you can see, it's all loose now, so I'm gonna try to get it out. I don't know how, but I'm gonna try. I think it's not supposed to be complicated. Yeah, that's not complicated at all. Okay. So anyways, it just falls out, and you can put it off to the side because you're obviously not going to be using it again. All right, now I'm gonna remove the ginormous engine cover. Clamps here, you can just pull to get those out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna come at this again tomorrow, but basically I'm removing this noise pipe, which goes into the cabin and gives you all those little warblies when you're driving down the road like a maniac. So this connects through these two quick connect fittings, or quick connect spring looking things. You can see that right here. They look kind of like this. And the second one's up here. It's kind of hard to get to. We're not hard to get to, but it goes around this little ring here to obviously connect the rest of this part. I actually used a 8mm wrench for that. You could probably use like hose clamp pliers or just regular pliers and it should work fine, but I was just kind of letting you know that that's what it looks like. And once you do two of those, this little pipe gets out of the way, and definitely gives you a good bit amount of clearance to this timing belt because it's kind of sitting right above it. So I'm going to figure out how to disconnect this sensor, and hopefully we'll be able to have this engine cover off tomorrow and we can continue working. I'm going to go ahead and work on taking this wheel off and doing the next step. And I can't stop the video because I have gloves on.